So, but the school where we can afford, they're normally on the waiting list. But at least now they're building schools.
You said 18,000 rands per month.
Yes.
There's a school that charges that.
Yeah. Because you know what, the school now, if you've got about 18 kids with autism, definitely you won't be able to manage the school.
Name, surname, and where you from, and then I'll kick off other.
Okay.
Yes.
I am Nhlakanipho Afrikander, a Zulu boy from Vryheid, KZN. But now I'm based in Pretoria. Pretoria
Okay.
North, to say.
Pretoria North.
Yes, to say.
Uspanada?
I work in Mpumalanga.
You working in Mpumalanga?
Yes. I work in
Okay.
Mpumalanga. I
All
work
right.
in Mpumalanga. Yeah.
Okay, sharp. The reason you are here is because I want you to correct my language. Is because you've got a son who suffers from one of the autism spectrum. So I want you to unpack it for me so we understand.
He doesn't suffer. He lives with the condition of autism.
Okay.
His name is Nhlakanipho Afrikander. He's 12 years, turning 13 in September.
Okay.
So yeah, he was diagnosed, I think, 2013.
2013.
2013.
That is almost 10 years ago.
10 years
so he
ago.
was around 3.
Yeah.
So that's like the
That's
average
the
age that
that's where the age they can pick up, because how it started, he was in a crash, né? And then in the crash, we got a call from the principal and said, hey, your child is not behaving normal.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't wanna play with other kids. It just wanna only in his corner and everything. Yeah. Then we advised to see a pediatrician. Yeah? Okay. We took him back from Vryheid. We brought him in Pretoria to a pediatrician. Then the pediatrician just said, what else does he do? You know, we listed some stuff. He is very hyperactive. He struggles to communicate. You know, he doesn't have eye contact and everything. Then he says, you know what? I'm suspecting your child might have autism. And at that point, Joe, we didn't know what was autism, what's happening. So what I did, she advised us to go to Autism SA. So we booked in an appointment at Autism SA. So Autism SA, they're very busy. They will never give you, a date for tomorrow. So you are put on a waiting list. So while we are put on waiting list, went on Google, went on YouTube, type autism, then they started showing these are the signs of autism. So after that, when we were comparing what I was reading, what I was seeing, I was like, you know what, 9 out of 10 is there. Yeah. Now we had to go now procedure now because autism, it's broad. You can have 20 kids. That will give you 20 different autism kids. It doesn't say if it's autism, then the other one will be the same. So it's just broad. Unique.
That's why it's a spectrum.
It's a spectrum, yes.
It's huge.
It's huge, Joe. Then we waited for the appointment. Then we went to Autism SA. Then there was a panel of doctors. That's where they actually proper diagnosis. They told us that.
Okay, so between the way you agree you made an appointment, you requested an appointment, did they acknowledge your
the receipt,
of the booking, yes. And then from that time you did your own studies until the date that they actually saw you. Do you remember how long did it take?
I think it took about 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months, yeah, while waiting. And then we got the date, I think it was April, I remember, 14 April. Then we went to it's a panel of doctors, psychologists and everything. Then after doing that process, they can basically what they do. You bring in the child, the parents, to
Yes.
they interview you
Yes.
while seeing him. So
Yes.
they did that, and then I think a week here we got a report that is 40%. It's got 40%
Okay.
autism. So this is the assistance he can be provided on. You know,
Okay.
they recommend the psychologist, the speech therapist, all this team of
Okay, yeah.
doctors. Yeah.
But they gave you support.
Yeah, they gave you support.
Was
yeah.
that at a cost?
No. Autism SA, those are the only guys
Who
who
don't?
don't charge.
Oh, okay.
The rest,
That's a good, okay.
yeah, Autism SA,
Yes.
no, they provide you that support. No,
Okay.
for us, they're really helpful because they will guide you.
Yes.
These are the schools you can use. These are the doctors you can use because, funny enough, there are some doctors who don't understand what is
Yes.
autism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So doctors, we are talking about general practitioners. right?
Yes.
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 So tell me, your case, your son is 40%.
45.
45%
Yeah.
autistic. I want you to always correct me whenever I'm veering off
Okay.
in terms of the
problem.
naming and the labeling.
Yeah.
So I understand that many people are not told. They just tell them the person is living, maybe it's Asperger's or whatever it is in the spectrum. They just tell you have autism.
Okay.
So the 40%, what does it mean? And did
Okay.
they explain it to you?
For our case,
Yes.
you're gonna have autism, then you're gonna have something that is called ADHD, it's attention disorder.
Oh yes, yes.
So normally the attention disorder is usually E1,
Okay.
and autism E1. But in our case, ever combined.
Oh.
So he's got autism together and the attention disorder.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah,
no,
you
no,
understand?
I understand.
So that is why it was a different
Okay.
treatment altogether.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, the problem here is I went to the South African website. It's the government website, so it speaks about the research not being done well. But that's just where I read, and how difficult it is based on the fact that it's underreported. It's under people can pick it up and stuff. So they say the leading researchers in South Africa, based at UCT, estimate approximately 2% of the population are affected by ASD. So, do you know people personally, whether maybe in your family or in your cycles that you know?
You know,
Besides people that you know because they
Yeah.
have, but you know other people.
at first, no, I didn't know
Yeah.
because what normally happens, a lot of parents they hide these kids, especially our black,
Our Africans.
our
Yeah.
Africans. They always hide. So when I started speaking out about autism, that's when people come and popping up because you will get those WhatsApp messages. Because normally, as you can see,
Yes.
I normally post things
Yes.
on my WhatsApp and
Yes.
say, "Hey doc, what is happening there? My child done that."
Yes.
And sometimes I don't know. I've sort of become a specialist to autism because I can
Yes.
see a kid. Okay,
Yes.
this is what is happening. No, you know, in I think it was 2017 at Sunny Park Mall.
Yes.
There was a lady there. I could see this child was,
Yes.
and she was actually crying,
Yes.
behaving like you were climbing on
The mother is
shelf.
crying or the child is crying?
The mother now was stressed.
Oh, okay.
So
Yes.
the child was crying, doing all these funny things,
Yes.
and the attention was.
Yes.
So she was actually crying.
Yes.
Then I went to the child because you read how to calm this kid.
Yes.
And I calmed him down. And then I told her, "Your child has autism." He said, "No, but what is that?" I said,
Yes.
"Give me your number. I'll tell you to do and this and this. Go to this because your child has symptoms of autism."
How does that? Because when you are well read and you have opened up and you, I don't think after even having engaged with you in the past, you did not have too much in terms of
Yes.
resistance.
Yes.
Because you accepted and then you wanted to read more. I know, and of course you also know, what makes the resistance difficult for people to admit whenever and what are the consequences?
Yeah.
I mean, remember, a lot of these are picked up at
Yeah.
either crash or grade R's and stuff. What makes this resistance?
You know-
Is it stigma from our own families?
Yes, it's a stigma from our families. You know, another thing is it's a taboo.
Yes.
When you see these kids on black families, usually it's a Europe thing.
Yeah.
You understand? So what they normally say, my child is bewitched. So they go via, they will hide, they will take kids to, and of course, I have to thank my mom because mom and the support structure she gave us. It's like, you know what, mntana lona, mntwana kaNkulunkulu, let's accept and move on. And then we got, because another thing that stresses lack of information.
Yes.
Once you get more information about autism, you are fine. You will start to understand how, because if a child has autism, according to him or her, who right doesn't understand anything. You understand?
Yes.
It's only you that you're gonna say is doing some strange stuff. Yes, because for autism, you've got your brain A and B.
Yes.
For you to move a hand to the mic, your mind needs to tell B, that's your senses.
Yes.
Move your hand to the mic. And the autism, it doesn't work like that.
Oh.
So if he wants the mic, if I'm autistic,
Yes.
I will take your hand and put it in the mic.
Oh.
So it's that extra direct communication.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the problem. So once you start to understand those little parts, that's where you get to understand how autism operates.
I was speaking with a parent. She's telling me about her interaction with another parent who sometimes they would speak. They are strangers, but they just know each other because their sons have autism.
By the way, it's only sons that have autism. The woman, you hardly find.
Yes, you hardly find
A girl with autism.
Yeah.
It's only.
So, and she tells the other mother to say, one of the things that you will learn is patience.
Yes.
Patience. And the reason I'm stating this is it's very difficult. You said your mother gives you support. There are single mothers, there are single parents who are doing this. How hard is it to do? Because I want you to explain how hard is it.
It's very, very hard. It changes your life completely. You try and isolate yourself from a lot of people because you are running away from questions.
Yes.
You understand? So, like in our case, me and my wife, we are tight. We are able to absorb all that pressure,
Yes.
and we are able to say, you know what, we can speak for ourselves.
Yes.
If you ask stupid questions, we'll tell you right there. Especially my wife, because it's like she's overprotective of our son.
Yes.
Another thing is that once you don't share information to people, you will get.
Oh, yes.
You understand?
Yes.
That is why I always want to educate about autism.
Oh, no, you're
Yes,
correct.
you understand. Once I give you information, I trust me, you will behave differently. You will say, "Oh, now I understand." Because when it comes here now, you can just see the juice. You come and drink your juice.
Yes.
When you will be angry, hey, why is that doing my
Because you
drink?
don't understand.
Because then I'll explain to you, okay, why is this going to do this and this? And you will say, "Oh, now I understand."
No, that's correct.
Yeah,
Look, I know of a case where, because I'm speaking about the difficulty of raising a child. So this mother is an Australian mother. She was raising. She wasn't alone. Her name is Daniela Dawes. She wasn't raising the kid alone. She had a husband, but her father died, and she fell into depression, and she killed her son, and she was not convicted. She was acquitted, and so, but the marriage broke down because and what happened is the father now, even though she was supporting her wife during the time, he's now fighting the mother and stuff. So this is an old story. So things might have changed ever since. It just shows you how difficult this thing is, and there's no way for you to explain to someone the level of difficulty that
you know, I can't, but what I can tell you, in any autism parent, it's either you're going through depression, you were depressed, or you are currently going medication depressed. That is a showcase.
It's very hard.
It's very hard because remember, you're dealing with something you don't have answers for them.
It happens every day. So one of the mothers that I saw, so if she's lucky, she can wake up at 6 in the morning, and then maybe to go, because she's unemployed, she takes care of her son every day, and for the rest of the whole day. That's what she does. No one, a nanny, even if she can find, they will not last. Because it's every day. It doesn't get better. I want to understand, in your support system, I know family supports. Do you struggle having nannies?
The nannies, we're struggling on that part. I mean, you know, nannies are struggling with the normal kids.
Yes,
even worse with the
yes,
kids living with autism.
yes.
You know, so because some of them, like in my case,
Yes.
we let him be in the household.
Yes.
You understand? Now the nanny will be like, hey, everything.
Yes.
You understand? Sit there, do this.
Yes.
Because I understand autism much better than the nanny.
Yes.
So sometimes we try bringing them in. This is this child. This is autism.
Yes.
This is how he operates. This is what it's gonna do. This is what it does. This is what, because remember, autism kids, they want things in a routine. Once you teach them a routine,
they stick to
they
it.
stick to it. If it's bath time at 8, they need to bath at 8. You know, if he sleeps at 10, then he sleeps at 10. So nannies find that sometimes it's become. Oh, of course we understand, because you know my wife needs to work. I also need to work. We cannot be there, you know, because another part of autism, it's financially draining. Nothing is cheap. The medication and stuff, the doctors, most of them are not covered by the medical aid.
Yes.
You first have to consult, then go to claim. Maybe you'll get 50% back. But most of it.
I want us to talk about that. You spoke about autism essay, covering your initial trip when you're starting this journey. After assessment, they would have done that for free in an ideal.
Yes.
But then you start the therapy, you start the consultations. What figures are we talking about?
We are, you see, the help that we need. Remember, those guys are all specialists.
Yes.
So the charge is higher than the normal GP will charge.
Yes.
Yes. Some will say they will claim on a medical. Some will say you need to pay. Go claim your medical aid.
Oh.
You know.
So plus minus the range, maybe
The range,
consultation.
The psychology that is going, it goes there almost every 3 months. It's like 1.3.
Okay.
1.3. The medication is like 1.3
Every month.
every month. Yeah. So when you add the nanny, it's just a lot of stuff.
No.
It's a lot of stuff.
And because it can't be a normal nanny.
Yeah.
It can't be.
It has to be, because the you need to teach your nanny.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It can't be a normal nanny.
Yes.
It has to be someone who has got the grit there.
Till today, they're still struggling
To find what is the cause.
What causes autism. Nobody knows, because at first they will say somebody in the generation there must have had it. Like for us, my wife's side, my side, my family was also interviewed. Nobody couldn't check anything. Nobody had autism.
Of course.
On both sides of the family.
Yes.
And
you were relatively young, so this question of saying fathers who the fathers who are older, they will risk. You were very young. You were in your 30s, early 30s.
Yeah, they couldn't prove it. Again, they went. What was the support? What you call tablets for the mother who they're pregnant. Whereas
they checked. Yes,
they checked. It was like no, she was taking the normal ones and everything. Everything was just the normal pregnancy.
Ish.
So that's another part that is frustrating.
Yes, because you can't put your finger on it.
Yeah, what I think for me is the biggest frustration was that what caused it.
Yes.
Because
do you blame yourself? Do you go ahead and try for another kid if it was your firstborn and stuff? What, like, does how
for us now?
Yes.
My firstborn is 12.
Yes.
My little girl is 2 years.
The gap.
So you see the gap now.
It affected
because we're like, what actually caused we're going to doctors, check this, like, no guys, everything.
The stress delayed.
The stress delayed up until we said, you know what, let's have a baby.
Yes.
Whatever happens, we'll leave it to God.
Yes.
That's
because you checked everything. You checked everything and nothing gave answers.
Yes. And the little one now is 5.
Ish.
Confusing even worse. But okay, then
what was it?
What was it? Because this is, by the way, my own opinion now.
Yes.
Because what I was checking now,
yes.
I was checking that the kids now who've got autism
yes.
are between the ages 10, 11.
Yes.
It's from 2009, 2010, 2011. They swear, I don't know, the people I've interviewed more.
Yes.
It's the ages that play around in those areas. That's the thing.
Ish. Yeah, it must. And then
because my wife was 23, so we can't say
you
he
can't
was a firstborn.
yes.
It was a natural birth.
Yes.
He was 3.8 kg. Everything was just normal.
Yeah, and I think if you spend more time trying to look for why,
why
it will drain.
It will destroy you.
Ish.
It will destroy you.
And so in terms of us coming from our African background, so I will call it noise because it's something that you don't need.
Yeah.
What kind of noise was coming in terms of either doubting your you have not done things in the proper African way because we are afraid. Yeah, like stuff like that. Were you blamed? Were you encouraged? What was it? Even if they were not saying it directly to you, what did you feel and what did you hear other people going through?
My wife was supportive. Her family was supportive. My family was supportive. So it didn't go that. Obviously, there will be people who are saying that the child is needs to go, but that's where now the beliefs came in. Now.
Yes.
That is individual because I'm a Christian, so I grew up under. That's when I said, you know what? When I wanted a child, I didn't go to any traditional healers. So I'll stick to what God has given me.
Yes.
I'll stick to it. My wife is a huge Christian. So like, you know what?
Let's stick to what.
Let's do what we know. We'll tell it as it comes, and where we are.
And you didn't get. Let me tell you how difficult this is. So now I'm not a big on tradition. So I'm just your standard. Give a child food if you want food. So I'm not big on those. So I don't know what you call it in Zulu. Like your markings, like your traditional. Because one of the things that bothers parents is because we are afraid in case my son or my daughter things don't turn out well 5 years 3 years down the line, they're gonna say you see we are Kumbula City. This is what. So we give in to family because we don't want to be blamed. Few years down the line.
Let me tell you a joke of.
Yes.
My dad passed away.
When about?
2010, before my son was born.
Oh yeah.
And then the family was like, you need to slaughter a goat, or because your dad had eyes, he had tears in his eyes. Slaughter something. Then I was like, you know,
So wait, hold it there. He had tears on his eyes, meaning that he was figuratively he was
he was
not
sick.
happy?
He was sick when he passed away. He was sick at Pretoria Hills Hospital.
Okay.
So when we were cleaning him, they said, you need to have a...
Physically, he was.
No, it was, you see when after you're sleeping,
Yes.
you'll have those, I don't know
Yes.
what you call this.
Yes.
Yeah. Teary eyes.
Yes.
To say, this is, you need to slaughter a coat. Then the first thing I said, my dad was a reverend.
Ish.
You understand? He never taught me these things.
Ish.
So I cannot do it because he never taught me all these things.
Oh.
So I'll stick
With what you know.
what he taught me.
Yes.
In my whole 28 of years of
Yes.
living, I've never seen my father slaughtering this and this.
Yes.
So I'll stick to what he taught us. So those are things that came after, because some were saying, you know, take your son, traditional healer, I know a good one,
Ish.
but I could understand it. My son has
Yes. Yes.
what you call communication breakdown.
Yes.
Yes. So no young will actually solve
Ish.
that.
Yeah, you know, it's those are challenges that I'm not saying white people are shielded from, but they are not as pronounced as they are for us, because it happens to a lot of parents because we are raising kids. Whenever something goes wrong, and you always remember, there are a lot of elders that you refused to take instructions for.
Yes.
And you know they would say, I can reveal when are you.
But remember now, you know, that is where I say spiritual comes in. You know, that is why if you don't have the courage enough,
Yes.
that's why you will move into these things, because you don't have the ground to stand.
Yeah.
You know, that is why some parents will rather take their kids, lock them in the house, to avoid people say, take this person to this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Because they're not strong. I mean, I will tell you straight.
Yeah.
With it doesn't go on Puma. This is what is happening and everything, because of my belief and the understanding of the autism. That's, you know, we were in April at Department of Education March there. What we want, we want awareness. You know,
Yeah.
the more awareness we can have about autism, the less stress parents will feel. You know,
Yeah.
because I can take my child to where your child is schooling, you understand? But because your child does not understand autism, he will bully my child.
Yes.
So what I need to do now, I need to take my child and protect him.
Yes.
You understand? I can only release him on the family members because they understand.
Yes.
But now my child cannot live with family members only. He will, at some point, he will need to go out there
Yes.
and walk in the streets freely.
Yes.
But he can't do that because the stigma comes in, the abuse, the bullying. That's where everything comes in.
You spoke about stimuli, like new stimuli breaking off the routine. How dangerous is it to his well-being, to his stress levels?
No, he becomes frustrated.
Ish. And then the part that they self-injure, they injure themselves.
Yeah, that's another thing. We are fortunate. My son does not do that. So when he's angry,
yes,
he will normally take a pillow, close his head, go to his room, lie
Yes.
down. So then you know something is up.
okay,
Or he will scream.
Yes.
You know, some they do bounce their head against the wall.
yes,
They bite their teeth and everything.
Ish.
But he used to do that when he was
yeah,
before we went to Autism SA.
Yes.
That's why I was saying Autism SA actually asleep because they gave us the direction.
yes,
Then after that, we were given medication, actually calmed him down. You know, through all of this, my only biggest stress is that my son cannot live without medication.
Ish.
Yeah, I see that one, man, it eats me up, and I cannot do, because once you don't give him medication for 2-3 days, on the 4th day you will see
Ish.
the way he starts to behave now. The medication is no longer in the blood. I think to all of this thing, that is my stress.
So you live your life managing
We're managing it, yes. And one thing about autism, the more it grows, the more it becomes better. That's where now he's going to start to understand himself, because he's 12, what we are facing at 5.
It's different.
It's different.
He also understands himself.
He understands himself. And then...
What schooling does he go to?
You normally go... It's a life skill. You can't expect him to follow the normal syllabus.
Yes,
it's a life skill. He must be able to do his own thing.
Yes.
He must be able to,
Yeah, but he's institutionalized. Yeah, he goes to...
Another thing, the government is not yet there.
Okay.
With the school for the autism kids. They're only starting just now, because due to the number of kids with autism, because normally they are schooling, normally you are put on a waiting list.
Yeah.
You can stay there 3-4 years. You can stay there. Or when you have money, you go to the schools, they charge you over 18,000 a month. So it's going to depend on your budget. So, but the school where we can afford, they're normally on the waiting list. But at least now they're building schools.
You said 18,000 rands per month.
Yes.
There's a school that charges that.
Yeah. Because you know what, the school now, if you've got about 18 kids with autism, definitely you won't be able to manage the school with 5 teachers. You will need maybe 14, 15. As I was telling you, with autism, it's a spectrum, you understand? One is autism, so the one kind of autism. In a case where my son has got autism, he's non-verbal. Some will have autism, but they will be able to speak those 2 sentences. Mine doesn't have his speech at all.
But he can hear.
He can hear. You can give him instruction, he'll never say okay. He will go and do that. When after he eats, when you say go put your food in the fridge, he will go and put it in the fridge. So that's how you. And another thing, funny enough, we were speaking to my wife last week, because we were saying what makes autism so difficult and stressful is that you don't know what you're dealing with.
Ish.
That's the problem.
So it evolves differently from every individual.
Every day. It's new thing, because if Dando was deaf,
yes,
you understand, was deaf,
yes,
I could have learned sign language, and by now it would be fine.
Yes,
you understand,
because he could talk back.
He could talk back. You understand? He would do that sign language. Then I know how to communicate with them.
Yes.
But now I can't learn deaf. I can't learn sign language because it's not deaf.
But he can learn.
He can learn.
Yes, he can learn.
He can learn.
I think the difficulty would be anyone with patience to teach him, because not everyone might have the patience and the skill to teach.
What's so sad, my brother, to see is to see the kids with autism, they require a mom and a dad. Ish. Those are the only people who can be patient
enough
with autism kids.
Ish. Say it again.
Promise you. It needs a mom and a dad. And unfortunately, I always see our brothers, when the kid is autistic, they run away.
Much they don't have the patience.
They don't have the patience, but you must have. I don't want to lie. Dando sometimes will irritate the hell of me, especially when it's soccer days.
Yes.
But you have to have that patience. Yes. Okay, this is what it's doing. This, do this, do this, do this. Yes.
It affects your own social life.
That I guarantee, because you can invite me. Your kid is having a bad day. You can invite me. Hey, come, let's have a pride. But the problem is, once I bring him,
yes,
he can upset the whole party.
The whole party.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at that time, I will say to Ash, I cannot come.
Yes.
Because I don't want to explain too many things to you.
Yes.
You understand? I'll say, Ash, I cannot come, because I will also need a nanny, someone to look at. Then we always choose the indoors. It changes the whole social life.
Yeah. So Asperger's used to be not in the spectrum. Now it's now in the autism spectrum. So, as a disorder, it's different from what your son is suffering from. But people who are suffering Asperger's are autistic people. There are, the difficulty with functional autistic people is we find it very difficult to confirm. So one of the people who came out as an autistic person is Elon Musk. He came out, he confirmed that he is autistic, he's suffering from Asperger's. I always struggle to pronounce the word. People have always, throughout time, have always suspected. Have you Googled Lionel Messi autism? You look at him, he's in the spectrum.
Kanye West.
Yes. I mean, there are a lot of people who you see, these are telltale signs in multiple ways, and we don't, because right now we don't see them in social settings, it's very difficult to confirm and stuff. And so it's bordering, I want you to understand that it's bordering on the line of you are swearing at someone when you say he's autistic, because that person has not admitted and has not been diagnosed, and because it's functional, we don't think it's a disease. So there are people who say Leonardo da Vinci was actually autistic. You know, so it's a lot of things. The reason I'm saying so is, do you know people in mainstream media? I don't want to say celebrities, but people in mainstream, people who are known, who, whether confirmed or people have suspicion of they are autistic. So I'm doing this because I want you to show that the spectrum is so huge. I mean, the movie Rain Man, for example. Yes. There are a lot of geniuses. I mean, the genius of Lionel Messi, it's, if everyone can just Google. I mean, that he's a one of a kind.
Yes.
And so you look at such things in life to say, someone will find it difficult to understand that your son could be suffering from the same disease that someone else who looks okay, but the person is also autistic, because of how huge the spectrum is. Do you know of someone?
Yeah, quite a lot of guys, quite a lot of people I know. You know, it goes back what we said. The percentage.
Yes.
And how autism attacks your body. Can difference from me. You understand? It can attack your speech. Some attacks some they don't communicate. Some they are good and their brains are beyond. Like in my son's case, if you put puzzles,
he kills it.
He kills puzzles. When you give him puzzles, he kills it. You know, everything that has, because he moves his hand fast and everything, he kills it. So it's true what you're saying. Is that maybe Elon Musk is not as high as?
Yes.
It's maybe your.
Yes, but it's in the spectrum.
In the spectrum. You find them that most guys with autism, they usually divorce. Others, they find out at 40 that they are actually autistic because he prefers his own corner to sit alone. And obviously, when you have a wife, you cannot sit in your own corner. The things like that. You know. So, it's a lot, Papa. It's a lot. It's a lot of people. I know. This guy, man.
When he comes to mind, you'll let me know. Have you researched to find out why is it boys?
I've tried, and
why is it boys? I mean,
they say it's high on boys, actually.
Yes,
it's high on boys. There's a young woman in Australia. A young woman.
Yes.
She can't talk, but she can sing. She's autistic.
Damn, there's this woman on. Well, my kids love her a lot. They watch her videos. She's a singer. I think she must be. she must be British. She's got this. Is a white lady with this long this chubby hair. It looks like, I don't know how to explain it, but they only discovered later that she's autistic. But she sings. She's got good. Like, my kids don't even know. Enough when doing research for this, I actually realized that she was autistic, and she came out to admit. I don't want to say admit, man. It sounds like a wrong word. She came out to say she's actually autistic. Yeah. So it just goes to show that there are people living in the spectrum.
Yeah, but they are not aware.
They are not
up
aware.
Until
once they are diagnosed, once they are aware,
yes.
they keep it because they don't know.
That is what
they don't know how people will receive them.
Yes, if we can cut that
yes.
stigma, just allow them to be normal, because they are normal in their
yes.
nature.
Yes.
Certainly, when we see that this
yes.
guy is not behaving
yes.
normal. Yes.
All right. I do know that SARS does pay. I do know that SARS is regarded as a disability. It doesn't.
The government.
They don't.
They
Look,
say.
Let me read out what I found on the government website. It says, I want to find it. Taxpayers who are disabled or who have dependents with disabilities, including autism, qualify for a tax disability rebate. Contact your nearest SARS office to inquire. And then it goes further. So I went to the SARS website. No, it wasn't a SARS website. It was an autism website where it talks about it goes further to regard it as a disability. It says, who qualifies for SARS disability tax credits? In order to qualify for SARS disability credit, your child's condition has to meet certain criteria. SARS sees disability as a specific impairment that is significant, that has a significant effect or limitation on the daily life. This could be physical, sensory, visual or hearing, communication, intellect, mental impairment. The condition has to be long-term, in other words, likely to last for more than a year. The condition must have been confirmed by a relevant registered medical practitioner. So, in a way, it is considered to be a disability if you can meet all these criteria. Then tell me, what is the problem?
The government doesn't treat it as a disability.
Why do they speak? I'll give you a link. Why does it speak in good terms? Because they are giving good public relations.
They say it's not a disability. In my case, yes. They said my child is living with a special need, meaning it can improve, but it's not a disability.
Man.
I promise you, what they're saying there, that those money that we pay doctors that are not paid on medical aid, I can go and claim them back. Half of it, you get half of it, not all of it.
Yes. Okay, so I don't understand.
Okay, if you cannot find a job,
yes,
you understand, you get a disability grant.
Okay, when the child maybe reaches, I don't know, what age do they qualify for disability grant?
No, immediately it's declared they qualify for disability grant.
Or they must be given?
Yes.
So, has your boy?
No, it doesn't get it.
Because you say autism.
They say autism. It's not a disability. Because if the doctor came to, we took him to the government doctor to check him. He said, no, your son is normal. Because when you're standing there, you can't see he's got autism. You're only going to see, because he's got struggles with communication. So it's not a disability. But my case was like, but that child cannot stay alone.
Yes.
You understand?
And he needs special care.
He needs special care.
He does not need any care.
Yes,
he needs special care. And
he's 12. I cannot say to him, go buy me a bread outside.
Ish.
You understand? You will never come back. You understand? So is it disability? I said, no. It's
So is that you? Is that the conversation you with a general practitioner?
yes, appointed by the government. Well, these things have been even I'm trying to help other parents, because to me autism is a disability.
So those with short pockets suffer more,
Hey Joe,
far more.
Joe, that is why those people have serious depression.
So the lady who was speaking to the other lady, giving each other support. So this one is more based in rural areas, and counting the availability of schools.
There are none.
It's
I can tell you, autism
It's-
schools. You've got one in Cape Town, one in Durban, one in Joburg, and two in Pretoria, and there's one in somewhere in Limpopo.
So
it's a boarding.
there's a
So what about a child who's in maybe in Mpumalanga
yes,
or Fried, for instance?
yes,
What are the stands? Because
somewhere low.
because once your child has autism, you need to live in a city. So what if you cannot afford those things?
Ish.
So that's why we are saying the government is not doing enough for the autism parent.
So you were an activist. You take to the streets.
Yes.
You hold placards.
Yes.
You go. And do you think there's progress in that? Do you think you are a lot of people are starting to understand? I don't know which doors you are knocking at. Are people starting to be sympathetic and empathetic to parents who live with?
You know, my whole idea is one of the reasons I'm coming here. If I can get those parents out from their house, out from the depression, let's go to the street.
Because it's lonely.
It's lonely inside. Let's go. Our black brothers, I always tell them, come. Because some of them, they run away to divorce, they run away from, let me leave this child. Because men...
So for them, it's easier, maybe let me just say men, and so too, it's easier to be a deadbeat dad. You
Yes.
cut the chain
Yes.
and you go and live a new
Yes.
life. And then if you find, as a man, if you find that maybe there's another child that then you cut the chain. You just so you will just keep doing it.
Yes.
If you are
Instead
lucky.
of supporting them.
And women may not be as lucky because they will be left holding the baby.
Yes.
That's the saddest
I
part.
promise you, out of 10 kids I've met, maybe 2 of them, the dads are involved in their life. And that is the biggest frustration.
Out of 10 kids
Out
that
of
you
10,
know,
yes.
only 2 have a present father.
Yes. I've opened up a group when I was trying to fight these fathers, guys. That's because my wife is also an activist on autism. She has a group with the women.
Yes.
Now I was trying to get guys, the support structure, guys, this is how you do this thing. Let's go to it, because I know what has stressed me
Yes.
as an autism parent,
Yes.
as a father. Let me try to assist another father, because I know they're probably going through the same thing.
Yes. So
But now
you are shortening the burden.
Yes.
Don't do this. I've already done it.
Yes.
This is the best way.
Yes, instead of taking the child to downtown traditional healers, do this, when you know it's a mental issue. Let's find a way to maintain that mental issue in the child, and it'll be fine. And then get the right resources, get the government involved.
Yeah. I'm this thing of SARS it still doesn't sit well with me.
Maybe
this
let
thing
me-
of
let-
not
let-
getting disability, it's still not sitting well with me.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to think what should then happen to someone who's poor. The neglect. I mean,
Sure.
if someone is unemployed and has an autistic child, what should then happen?
We went to Tembis.
Yes.
There was that broke me down. There was a lady there. He was tying his child with a chain.
Ish. Which year was that?
It was 2017.
2017.
To keep him because he was jumping all over.
Ish.
That lady went from size 38 to size 28. Stressing about the child.
Ish.
She says, I'm all alone, I don't know anything, what is autism, she never. She just says my child is out of control.
How big is the child in age?
It was 6 years. That's the rough age, an autism child.
Ish. Ish.
So we had to find had to direct her to a relevant department which will assist her.
What eventually happened?
No, they were able to give at the hospital the Ritalin. So he was able to calm, because it's all about the nerves.
Yes.
Calm down the nerves. And it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because the mind is overfunctioned for any
Yes.
child with autism. Yeah, especially at a 6-year-old.
When last did you hear?
No, she's alright now.
Oh, she's fine.
She's just struggling with the school, but she's there, and we took her to go to counseling.
Okay, the mother.
Yeah, that's the part. Go to counseling.
The father's not there.
Yeah, obviously. See, that part irritates me.
So fathers are not there with normal kids. It becomes worse.
Yes.
It becomes worse
They're
when.
off. Yes, because normally they will blame the mothers.
So the fathers would blame the mothers.
Blame the mothers.
You know, a case that I know is, I don't know how it came about, but the parent, the father, admitted to say, I could be a gene carrier because in my family line, we have an autistic child. Because on the mother's side, it's not there. So the father admitted that. And so I always ask myself, if the father admits that, because it just a lot of burden she's taking off his partner to say, look, I could be the one because my family member has the same. So maybe it could be a gene linked to me. You understand where I'm going? I don't understand how the genes work. They've tried to explain. It's so complicated that even science don't know how it works, how the genes would. But this father admitted that. So how many incidences do you know of someone who, for the sake of peace, who admits to say, no, my woman is not wrong. I'm saying, you know how in-laws are. In-laws would say, Rena, in our family, in the Mashiani family, we don't have such a thing. It must have came with Umakoti.
But then, how do you prove it?
Exactly. Because I'm thinking that I don't think this father has proof. He's just saying it.
Just to take
Yes, because when I was going through the research, trying to understand how it works and stuff, so this father was saying, well, I have. So there's this white guy. It was a story during the COVID. He's got 3 autistic kids, 3 of them, and he lives with them in the same house. And can you imagine 3?
What I can tell you, he's the world's strongest guy.
3.
You see me now, I've got 2 kids.
Yes.
My son is autistic and the little lady.
Yes.
But in the house, it feels like we have 6 kids.
Ish. Because of the 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So, and then it just explained to me. So I've checked the I don't want to call it mortality rate, the life expectancy. So it says generally around maybe between 39, ranging up to as high as maybe 53. So that's the life expectancy of people in the spectrum. I think maybe it varies a lot because of the differences in the spectrum, how far placed these people are. So I want to understand how bad is it in terms of them living, so we say living the nest in English, we say living the nest. How, when you think about it, when do you think he's going to be on his own? Even if, when I say on his own, he may be under care or under, but because every parent, I'm always thinking of my kids when they are by themselves, whether being taken care by someone in a boarding school or in an institution. But when you think about it, when he's going to be alone, when you are not involved.
You remember when I said autism parents differ from normal parents?
Yes.
That's one of the things.
It sits here.
We don't think like that. What we know, me and my wife, what we know, we'll take care of our son until we passed on, he dies. He's with us until.
Ish.
That's the thing. When he's going to matric,
yes.
You're starting to wow, man.
Yes.
He's now moving temporarily, he's going to tertiary, I'm going to sing my holidays. After that, he gets a job there. I mean, I know my son, I will take care of my son until he passes on, or I pass on. He's there. It's a child for life.
So you already psyched yourself?
Yes, because
you don't think of...
Because you know what, that's what I was telling you about. That's where the maturity now comes in.
Yes.
Because once I start thinking about, hey, if you're 12,
yes.
it's going to be 6 years to high school, it's going to leave,
yes.
then that depresses you.
Oh.
So I don't go there. I only know that I need to take care of my son forever. That's all I know.
So you have switched your brain to say, this is the standard. It will always be like this.
It always like
you don't think of, you are not over ambitious.
My son will always, that's why we even said, it's time, let's do a 4-bedroom, because this bedroom, there will always be men and Tando in this house. Let's do it like this.
Ish. So, your wife is a working mom, right?
Yes.
And you are a working parent as well.
Yes.
And you work across the province. Let's go back to the nanny. What kind of trust? How do you live with it? How do you psych yourself in finding a good nanny? Because of those dynamics.
It's that is the hardest part. I think it touches my wife a lot because she's very overprotective of Dan, and everything. You have to notice a lot of stuff. Normally, my son loves KFC, so when I come back, I'll just bring KFC. So if the KFC disappears within 2 minutes, then I know everything is sharp. Then if he doesn't eat it, then I will know something is up. Don't normally take him in the car. You will see when I take him, maybe let's drive around.
Yes.
Let's go to a park. He will start to be free. Then so we will know that something is up. Yes. Those are you have to notice each and everything. How he eats, the depart. He likes to sleep.
Yes.
And normally he will sleep 2 hours when wake up. But if he sleeps 4 hours, then I said, something is upstairs. What happened? That's soul searching now. Okay, what did the nanny do? Or those little things you have to notice.
If I were to advise a parent to tell him that there's a guy who can help you, here are the phone numbers. What kind of help can you give the person?
I can only give support.
Support and directions.
Directions, yeah.
What if, because there are parents
Mm.
whose kids,
Mm.
a lot of people listening here,
Mm.
they know a lot of parents
Mm.
who have not admitted or who have not acknowledged,
Mm.
who have not taken their kids to seek help.
You know what?
So what do you do? Because I'm thinking it's at the disadvantage of the child
Yeah.
when it's delayed.
The first thing that I normally do to those parents, I cut them off from their normal parents.
What does that mean?
Because Mashia and we are close.
Yes.
We cannot be 100% close because your kids,
Yes.
you understand?
Yes.
If I've got autism parents,
Yes.
they know that. I'll say, guys, it's the weekend. We're going to go to this park. Let's do a braai.
Yes.
Because you know what? All of us are common. You let the kids be.
Oh. You already understand each other.
Understand each other. Because the biggest problem, probably...
So you are closing that gap of
Yes.
not being social.
Yes.
Very good.
You understand?
Yes.
Because the most parents, what they struggle with, it's comparison.
Oh.
You'll see most parents, when it's January, autism parents are depressed because they know that they cannot find schools. They are still on waiting list. The best friend, Umashia, is posting, my son is starting high school.
Ish.
It hates, yeah. Yes.
Ish.
You know, so find that maturity. Stop that comparing.
So you cite yourself, it takes years. Eh?
It takes years. Like we are saying with me and my wife, now we are expert in autism. We are expert in it. Because nothing bothers us anymore.
So you were an activist.
Yeah.
Do you have a support group?
Yeah, we do have a support group. We've got a OCC, or she's closer to my wife, that are running a group at Pretoria North.
Okay.
For Pretoria.
Okay.
I'm still encouraging, I want to say, in the group I've got about 10 guys.
Okay.
And those 10 guys, they are not so active. You could see what...
So the support group, does it have a name? A support group, or it's just a group of people?
It's just a group of people.
You don't have a name, you don't have a social media account?
No, we don't have a social media account. We normally link it to Autism SA, because how do we get it?
People are referred there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone is listening and wants help...
I can share my number.
All right, no. Please do.
Yeah, my number is 073 605 1998.
Say it again.
073 605 1998.
Okay. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, and I bet I'm not the only one after being shocked whenever you explain this. But I believe whatever you've said could have soothed another parent to understand that they are not the only ones. Because we are hoping that this podcast could be shared with parents who think they are alone, who think they like, in terms of support. I mean, I can't imagine enough how tough it is. Like I gave you an example of a lady who actually, just to get out of this, men, I've already said, men can cut ties and disappear from the child. A woman is very difficult to do. That's why the incident of a woman in Australia had to kill her son. And we don't want it to get that way. And it becomes lonely, you become in permanent depression because of all of these things. But when there's support, you guys are able to avoid this.
You know, my brother, I cannot stress that enough. My wish, I want the autism fathers to come back to their kids.
Ish.
When it starts going, we're at the solid stage.
Yes.
That's why it's worse.
Ish.
I can spend on my son.
Yes.
He's 12 years. He's on hospital medication. He doesn't understand. He's starting to have hair.
Yes.
He cannot bath himself. He needs to be bathed by his mom.
Yes.
But because of his pain,
Yes.
understand, I don't need to be touched by a woman. I'm naked. I only
Yes.
need my father.
Ish.
So I have to bath him and everything. That's where it gets comfortable.
Phew.
You understand what? And mind you, I told you what?
Yeah.
90% of autism kids are boys. If fathers disappear,
Yeah.
it becomes worse. And my wish, I want to get those parents out of the house.
So tell me, so a parent, let me just say a father who wants to go back to, because now we're discussing another topic, who wants to go back to the son, and what would be the challenges? What can you say to women who make it difficult, women on both sides, whoever lives with it and whoever lives with it? What kind of support can what can you encourage? I'm not saying I'm blaming the women in both lives.
Yeah.
The woman that the husband is with and the woman who needs to forgive so the relationship could what can you tell them?
Speaking from
Because it's very
experience,
difficult. Yes.
Speaking from experience, it hits hard on the fathers. But what we need to do, get more information, understand autism. I guarantee you, once you understand autism, you will be able to reconcile with your child and everything, because now you have the knowledge and these support groups that we always provide. Because it cannot be a 5-sentence thing, do this. It's a journey.
Yeah.
You understand? So we need to be doing this together. You know, let's go have a pride day. Let's speak about your son. I will tell you this is what it does, this and this and this and this. This is how we do it.
All right. I think we're at the end of the show. Is there anything that you want to say that you think we may not have covered?
Yeah. What I can tell you, my brother, let's stop. I can say this enough. Let's stop the stigma. You know, allow kids to be. Once we allow these kids to be, I'm sure these parents will go out from recently, you know, having the courage to let the child be.
Yeah.
And I can play to the 100 times to the government, you know what. So long as they give us platform, educate, teach us about autism, then the nation will be much, much better, Papa. I promise you. Because there are kids suffering there of autism, but we are hiding them there in the shacks and there, and we believe we are bewitched. Instead of getting the right support and helping those kids.
Thank you very much.
John Posa.